Millia Rage's story is definitely the ultimate struggle to find the meaning in life. She lost her parents in the Crusades, and the only thing she could do was join the Assassin's Guild when she was taken in by Zato I. Like Zato, she was given power over a forbidden beast, that being her hair. Millia would soon taste the life of sin after going on an assassination mission to kill off a high-ranking official. Not knowing what to do with herself after having blood on her hands, she continued to question the meaning to her life, and eventually had her hair tied to a chair, and was given the choice to stay on the chair or to cut her hair and be free. She did in fact choose freedom, and proceed to continue to question the meaning of her life. However, things were still rocky after experiencing the death of her lover Zato, so things aren't that good. She also aided in the arrests of Zato and disbanding the Assassin's Guild, so that happened too. In Guilty Gear XX Action Core, she was told by Slayer to remember her beauty before it would go away, because eventually her hair will corrupt it. Yet she still resolves to keep on fighting. Yet in Guilty Gear Xrd, Zato's back. Life better? Yeah, scenes in Guilty Gear Xrd, she basically resolves to bring back the Assassin's Guild and that she will keep on fighting. And she's found a meaning to her life. She's even the director of the Post-War Administration Bureau, helping with the security of the G4 Summit in Guilty Gear Strive. That's a pretty hardcore redemption arc. So if she can find the meaning to her life, can you? It is all through the floof.
私がアサシン組織の次期首領だ。
Hello everyone! This is David Leibowitz with Philosophy Spiel Video Game Philosophy, and time for a very fluffy video. I know it's been a while. This was supposed to be right after Zato, but I'm still currently working on my old computer, but I really wanted to get this out at least a week after. It was supposed to be 2 days after, but a week can suffice to talk about what was originally my second favorite song in the whole soundtrack before any DLC, because I was listening to this soundtrack from day one, probably even pre-day one. I was listening when any soundtrack would come out, I would listen. Smell the game, out. But this song is a banger, and I really want to talk about it because, well, Millia's awesome. It's great. It's the most different Aisha song out there, outside of Ramlethal's theme, which has only a tiny bit of Aisha. But again, I'm a philosophy guy. I know my Jungian psychology. I'm also a singer. I'm going to probably withhold from singing for this one, even though it would just be me having fun, which is good, but I don't have much to actually really say about it by doing it myself. But I will definitely comment on the singing, because I think it's very important, the contrast between Aisha and Naoki. So without further ado, Love the Subhuman Self. This hits so hard.
Break yourself inside out. She told me, we know deep down there's no way. Even if I smash the mirror, how do we look? Not good. Oh, lullaby, don't stop until I fall in place. Stay with me until the end of time. So carry on, love the subhuman self. Time goes on, lasting road. I left my regrets.
All right. So that was a little bit of the song. Well, a lot of it. So let's break down piece by piece what we're dealing with here. So the song begins with some epic shredding But after the epic shredding and some nice little techno, possibly reminiscent of her femininity, we get to break yourself inside out. She told me, we know deep down there's no way. So basically, we are seeing here, who is this she? I think this she is the two different parts of Millia. There's the assassin Millia, and there's Millia now. And there's also another thought I have, that this is actually Millia talking to Zato. That this she is, that's well, this was her vengeful gaze and lust for revenge against Zato. So, as well as this she is just, again, the part of herself that, oh, you got to break yourself to understand yourself and understand the meaning of life. But then we get to, well, we have the idea of, about her appearance. I didn't talk about it as much, but she has been, right in the moment when Slayer says your beauty is going to go away, which is reminiscent of this, she does ask Slayer, are you hitting on me? Are you hitting on me? Because she basically has been hit on. Like in the beginning of the first Guilty Gear, she had a fan come on to her, and that same fan, I think, shows up in Guilty Gear XX. And she has this very, very interesting relationship with this fan. So the notion is, but it doesn't matter how she is beautiful. When she looks herself in the mirror, she doesn't think she looks cute. She doesn't think she is, well, because she thinks she's disgusting at the beginning before Misato's been arrived. She thinks she's disgusting for what she has become. She's become subhuman because her hair, the symbol of her beauty, has transformed into this real, even though it looks beautiful, it's this monster. I mean, her neutral stance is sort of turning that hair into a scythe, a symbol of death, which is ultimately the hair will corrupt her and lead her to not be cute. Eventually, she already kind of sees her corrupt form already. But then, oh, lullaby, don't stop until I fall in flames. That she basically then says, it doesn't matter. I love you, hair. I don't care that you're going to corrupt me. Because eventually, I love you. Because you are my femininity. You are my identity. You are the symbol of why I became an assassin. You are the Assassin's Guild. You are the femme fatale femininity attackingness that allows her to, yes, she takes with her the lives of everyone she's killed and she doesn't feel good about it, but that is the life that she prefers. So fundamentally, she reaffirms herself that she can sort of have this rebirth of her femininity, the hair, the moonlight. These are the parts of the self, the moonlight, not in Japanese culture. In Japanese culture, the moon is masculine, but in majority, the moon is feminine. I mean, in China, Chang'e, or in Diana, or Artemis in Greek, Roman, the moon is very much feminine. So with that idea, we can therefore think that, well, she needs to understand and access the night, access her animality, because with femininity, a lot of women in the current feminist movement are trying to run away from their bodies and focus solely on their intellect. And to not say go away from the intellect and focus on the brain, but that is, in an article I read, fundamentally AI is something that is masculine, because in this sort of dichotomy, even though males are also just thinking about their raw brawn, it's sort of that there's the intelligence-emotion dichotomy, that intelligence is fundamentally masculine, the animus, and femininity is the emotions, as well as the attachment to the body, to the earth, while the masculine is the sky. So she sort of, even though fighting is sort of seen as manly, with what she's doing with her hair, with her body, using a part of her body herself, and not just a weapon, she is fundamentally one with the earth, one with the subhuman, one with the animal, and she left her regret, and she will affirm her body, affirm her femininity in this reborn age where women can do things. Again, her being a woman is not the big thing outside of her getting hit on every once in a while. But she is, of the four main assassin characters we see in Guilty Gear, Venom, Slayer, Zato, there's Millia is the only other, is the main one of the quartet that is female. So it is sort of different that sort of this woman put into this very bloody lifestyle, but this is sort of the reaffirming of that, sort of making her like an Amazon in a way, kicking ass. So let's continue. So, the beginning part that we started with was time goes on, lasting road. This is a clear dichotomy towards that that Millia, since Zato is fundamentally stuck in the past, he's forever a shadow of the past, he's with no emotions, a relic. His song goes from future, present, past. Millia's song goes fundamentally forward in time. Even though with the fundamental holdingness in the earth, in the self of this lullaby that holds her caring nature, her feminine nature. But then, so there's that. Then we go on to the song after some more awesome shred and techno stuff. Then we have Millia's, again, doubting her appearance. You swept me off my feet. This is, again, her talking to her hair and sort of this beauty, but also, I think, you swept me off my feet, that this is her talking to Zato, that, she told me, that Zato hearing her say, you swept me off my feet when they originally were in love, and then, of course, in love again. So there's that, but she still thinks, fundamentally going back to in the thoughts in her head, no, how do we look? You're the bee's knees, you're the best person, but no, I'm throwing rocks into the lake, which means life is meaningless, life is meaningless, life is meaningless. But then we have this notion of how we look, let down. No, I'm not attractive. Even though I may look attractive, I don't feel attractive. I feel dirty. But then we have the affirmation of, before we get to that, like we have the sort of the feminine and the masculine, the Anima and the Animus, talking to each other, that the subhuman is both the more masculine, bestial side of it, but also even more deeper feminine in a way. Like the feminine is is the higher self, while the is really the beast talking. Like there's that idea. But then she says, oh, lullaby, don't stop. It doesn't matter. I'm going to feel one with my femininity, feel one with myself, and it doesn't matter. There is meaning to life. And let's continue. All right. So now, musically, as not an expert at this, you hear the two voices talking together. So, talking together, because you hear them, basically, the unity between the masculine and the feminine, or the higher and lower self. You hear that, so doesn't matter. And again, so carry on, love the subhuman self. Meaning is fundamentally in accepting all parts of ourselves. The subhuman, the human, the higher human, everything. When we accept all of ourselves in the Jungian way, we go forward. She accepts who she fundamentally is. Now, in the Jungian way, you are not just fundamentally an assassin. There's a lot more to you. And again, the little slight motherly, caring side that we see in Millia every once in a while. We see a very intelligent side of her, actually, in Guilty Gear Strive, where she's a girl boss, basically. I mean, she's always a girl boss, but she's really a girl boss, not fighting at all, I think, in Strive. She's just bossing people around as part of the director of the Post-War Administration Bureau. And telling them, acting like with the Assassin's Guild's former intelligence. And she gets Leo to follow along and respect her and respect the Assassin's Guild, which is great. So you hear this harmony, and you hear again that time is going forward. She's allowing time to go forward. Because as they do say towards the end, a lot of these songs are, I will get to Requiem when I feel like I have enough information for it, but Ino could never stay in the present. Millia is allowing time to go forward, but is remaining in the present. Not forever in the present, still allowing the future to happen, but since, well, Ino never had it today, Millia has it today, she's allowing time to go forward because she's an animal. She's living spontaneously, vicariously, creatively, intelligently, all the beautiful parts of what make her an awesome girl boss and make her one of the main ladies of Guilty Gear come true to fruition. Now, awesome riff. So, with the final part of the song, we see that there's the nice guitar riff, but after that guitar riff, then we hear the piano coming. And the piano is definitely, again, not the expert on this, but the piano is not necessarily a feminine instrument, but in this specific idea, especially with the higher notions of the keys, knowing I did play piano. I'm very amateur, but I did play a little piano as a kid. That it's at the higher notions of parts of the register, of course, that we see that the aggressivity has gone off, that now we see the full motherly caring sign. Interesting that they could have possibly used other instruments, but it just works really nicely because then right afterward we hear the guitar come in, and the guitar is then later on supported by the piano. So like this notion that the piano then comes in, so this feminine, masculine, all these very different angles are coming in. That's why the song slaps so hard, because the song is very much put together. And it is because she has accepted herself. There's not much new lyrics-wise. This is actually really mainly all performance. And performance-wise, I've had my regrets. Like, there's a lot more strong it starts to turn into a ballad. And you can hear just the full, controlled anger, but full, creative, feminine, motherly, but not too motherly. It's unique. It's just unique. It's a reborn femininity because she's accepted and she loves the subhuman, which is her forbidden beast, her hair. And it's just fabulous. And the moonlight, she's tied to the earth. She's one with herself. That's awesome. Well, next time, I'm going to do Must Die, Blaze Blue Wise in the Arxis world, and then do Hellfire, which I want to read up a little bit more. I did a whole paper on moral trauma, or moral injury at least, my clinical psychology class in college. But I do want to brush up on again regarding soldiers, because Hellfire for Leia Whitefang is basically about moral trauma. And then I will see later on what's next. But I enjoyed this. This was a lot of fun. I think the song is a banger. I don't know if it's actually my number 2 song still. Number 1 song is Find Your One Way. It still is and it will forever be. Unless something else comes out, maybe Johnny will be really good. Oh yeah, Johnny. I will do Johnny. I definitely will do Johnny. But without further ado, peace. David Leaves with Philosophy will be Philosophy. See you next time.